Going interdimensional. It doesn't have to be hard, but you got to know what you're doing with the precept. Welcome again to another, hopefully, informative educational video. Now, I've spent some time up until now really trying to get you in the zone of where we're trying to go. I haven't spent much time explaining what you're going to begin to see. And that's sort of irresponsible of me, considering once you break through, you're broken through for life. It's a sixth sense. You're going to see into another spectrum of light, and once that happens, you're going to be confronted by beings and entities and forms you never believed, you would have never known existed, yet they permeate and are completely proliferate the environment around you, no matter where you're at. You could be in your bathroom right now, and they're between you and your phone. You could be in your office, or you could be anywhere. You could be standing in your bedroom, or here I'm in the kitchen area, and they're everywhere. Okay. You're going to start to see beings and these forces that are very much alive and intelligent for all intents and purposes, so it seems, are actually, this is key, soul forces. So you're going to be looking into your soul. What are these beings then in our souls? Well, it turns out there are thoughts and our feelings. So when people say thoughts and feelings are real things, they are literally living, vitalized, energetic entities. Having a thought is giving birth to a new being. Every thought is a new being. And they live in us, and we are populated with them. So we want to make sure that we're paying attention to our thoughts and our feelings. The technique that we're going to go through here is a relatively simple technique. However, the results, if you're a novice and you're jumping right into this, maybe you're getting it over your head. And I'm not saying that just to spar you on. Some days I feel like I'm in over my head because I had no idea just how literal and real this other reality is. And I deal with it every single day, every night, every day. I go in to quiet places, into dark places, and a light fills up my environment. And I'm not talking about like a bright light from outside, but it's an ambient astral light that I become aware of. It darkens my environment by contrast, and beings who are veiled out of that, who are formed out of this light, emerge. They come as clouds. They come in solid forms. Some of them are darkness and some of them are light. I'm sure you can insinuate in your mind the nature of the differences between those beings. We see clouds of purple, and we see just different creatures. Sometimes we see marsupial-like beings that actually will jump into us. We see humanoid-like beings that come and even walk through us or sit into us, and we feel them inside and outside, and it's intense. And if we don't know what's happening, it is scary. But it need not be scary, and it shouldn't be scary, and the very thoughts of fear are going to be the problem, not the events themselves for you. So I started to, in the very last minute of the last video, because I have to put so much ahead of what I'm about to tell you because of the impact and all of this on you. So let me just spend some time actually going over the techniques. So the first thing you're going to need is a plant. Now you can use an outside plant, really. You can use this kind of plant, whatever kind of plant you got. You're going to be focusing or staring at, I'm going to use some really superficial terms, but I don't want you to interpret this as a very superficial thing that people just fall into, because if you hear it and you think that, then you'll be like, it doesn't work. If it's not having the effects I'm talking about, then it's not what I'm talking about. You need to listen very closely to the words I'm choosing. When we're focusing on this plant, for instance, and yes, you can see this over video. You can perceive astrolites, auras, and this sort of stuff around people over videos. It communicates. But for your purposes, do this with an actual plant in front of you. And we're staring at it, and we'll go over this other part in a later time, but we need to eliminate all thoughts. And in eliminating all thoughts, we're focusing on the plant only. And in focusing on the plant, we are, if we must think a thought, we're thinking the thoughts about the plant, from the plant's perspective regarding the concerns of the plant itself. So if I must think a thought because I'm not at a place where I can silence all thought, then I might think of, how does that plant feel? How does the leaf feel unfurled here, expanded? The chlorophyll and the sap running through the veins and the stems. See, all my thoughts are concerned with this one being that I'm focusing on. And as I sit in stillness, I'm going to notice a couple phenomena begin to occur. Now, if this doesn't happen right away, it's not because it doesn't work. It's because you need just a little bit of practice. It's worth the practice. If you don't do it, you're never going to know. You're not going to get there. You're going to have to wait till maybe another, lifetime, if that's what it takes. Don't let that happen to you. So we're staring at the plant. Now, a couple things are going to begin to happen. You're going to begin to notice a slight aura around the plant itself. Almost like it's emitting a ambient light right, maybe an inch or less, right around its entire surface. You're going in the right direction. Now, remember, as you move forward into these steps, it's going to appear to, you're going to have thoughts about what you're seeing. Okay? And that may be what requires multiple efforts, because you're going to become astonished over and over. This is going to trip you up. That's going to surprise you. And you're just going to have to get over a bunch of surprises to eventually get to the big surprise that opens them all up, because it's going to be shocking. It may not take that much effort for you. So next, you're going to notice a cloud, a pall. I choose the word pall, which is like a dark cloud. It sort of go around the plant. It's going to make almost everything around the plant dark by comparison, this aura. It's astrolight that's emitting off of it and focusing on it. Here's going to be a key tool I'm going to tell you right now. The moonlight, when we see the moon, we don't realize that the moon is casting off a very specific type of light. If we perceive that light while we're staring at this plant, we will become aware, begin to become aware of the other spectrum. So what you need to do is, while you're focusing on this plant, having no thought, or if any thought, about the plant, you're going to see the moon. Maybe a small moon here, something that stimulates the feelings of seeing the moon. When you do that, your eyes are going to shift. They're going to be looking for the moonlight, and they're going to find the moonlight. And it's in staring at that this plant now will begin to seem to float. It itself, not the environment. This isn't like a bubble in your eye or something weird. This is the object itself seems to lift and float, and it floats around, and it's even like it's lifting out of the pot itself, and it'll just be like, and it's floating there, and you're still, and you're being silent, and you're seeing this thing starting to move itself. Well, what you've done is you've moved your vision by seeing the moonlight to its ethereal body self, doubles, and that's what you're seeing moving. So you're like, how is this physically moving? It's not physically moving, but you are seeing something very real moving. And from there, Now that's a good breakthrough right there. But from there, this astral light, or this aura around it, will begin to light this whole plane up. In the next steps, I'm going to show you a little bit more about that, and we're going to bridge that over into seeing it all.